You remember the exact moment it hit you. It wasn't the day you signed the final document. It wasn't even when the bank confirmed the balance was zero. It was a quiet Tuesday morning, a few weeks later, when you opened your banking app out of habit. And nothing was due. No mortgage payment. No countdown. No invisible timer ticking in the background of your life. For years, decades, even, that number had followed you everywhere. It sat behind every decision you made. Take the higher paying job you didn't love. Mortgage, stay late at work instead of going home. Mortgage, say yes to things you didn't want to do. Mortgage, you didn't realize it at the time, but it wasn't just a bill, it was a filter, a silent force shaping your entire life, and now it was gone. At first, nothing changed. Your house didn't suddenly look different. The walls were the same. The kitchen still needed repairs. Property taxes still existed. Insurance still had to be paid. In fact, you quickly realized something slightly uncomfortable. You weren't suddenly rich. Your net worth didn't magically spike overnight. Your income didn't increase. Your lifestyle didn't upgrade. If anything, on paper, some people would argue you made the wrong financial decision, because mathematically, they say, you could have invested that money. You could have earned more in the market. You could have leveraged cheap debt and built a bigger portfolio, and maybe they're right, on a spreadsheet. But life doesn't happen on a spreadsheet. Life happens at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep. It happens when your boss calls you into a meeting you didn't expect. It happens when the economy shifts, layoffs start, and uncertainty creeps in like a slow fog. That's when you feel it, the difference. A year ago, that same situation would have felt different. You would have calculated everything instantly. How many months can I survive? What happens if I lose this job? Can I still make the payment? The pressure wasn't always loud. Sometimes it was just there, humming in the background. But it was always present. Now the question changes. Do I even want this job anymore? That's when you realize something profound. Paying off your house didn't make you richer, it made you harder to control. Most people think financial freedom is about having more money, more income, more investments, more assets, but what you've just experienced reveals a different truth. Freedom isn't about how much you have, it's about how much you owe, because every dollar you owe comes with a condition, every payment comes with an obligation, and every obligation limits your options. For 30 years, a mortgage quietly acts like an unspoken contract. Not just with a bank, but with your future self. It says, you will need to earn, consistently, for decades. You will prioritize stability over risk. You will think twice before making bold decisions. You don't sign that part, but you live it, and then one day, you don't. A few months pass, and something unexpected happens. Your behavior starts to change. At first, it's small. You notice you're less reactive. Bad news doesn't hit as hard. A sudden expense feels annoying, not devastating. You stop checking your bank account as often. Then it gets bigger. You start asking different questions. What do I actually want to do? What would I try if failure didn't matter as much? Is this how I want to spend my time? Before, those questions felt dangerous. Now, they feel possible. This is the part no one talks about. When people debate whether to pay off a mortgage early or invest instead, they focus on returns. They compare percentages. They model outcomes. They argue about opportunity cost, what they rarely measure is psychological weight, because debt is not just a financial tool, it's a mental one. It shapes how you think, how you act, and what you tolerate. You start to see it everywhere. A friend stays in a job they hate because the benefits are good. Another delays starting a business because now isn't the right time. Someone else avoids speaking up at work because they can't afford to lose this. It's never just about money, it's about what's attached to it. And then there's you, same world. Same economy. Same risks, but different position. You're no longer playing defense, you're choosing your moves. That doesn't mean life is perfect, there are still expenses. Repairs. Taxes. Unexpected problems. Responsibilities don't disappear, but something subtle has shifted. The baseline. Before, your life had a minimum requirement, earn enough to survive. Now, that requirement is lower, which means your margin is higher, and margin is where freedom lives. One evening, you're sitting outside. Nothing special. Just a normal day, and it hits you again, this time more clearly. For the first time in years, maybe decades, your income feels like it belongs to you. Not partially committed, not pre-assigned, yours. You can save it. Invest it. Spend it. Give it away. Change direction. You're not just managing money anymore, you're directing it. That's when the real shift happens. Wealth building becomes intentional, not forced, not automatic, not something you have to do, something you choose to do. And ironically, this is where things can accelerate, because the same discipline that helped you pay off the house doesn't disappear, it compounds. You start redirecting what used to be your mortgage payment into investments. But now, it feels different. There's no pressure, no urgency. No fear driving the decision, just clarity. And maybe that's the biggest change of all, clarity. Looking back, you realize something most people miss. The mortgage wasn't just a financial decision, it was a life structure. A framework that shaped your choices for years, and paying it off didn't just remove a bill, it removed a layer of invisible constraint. So no, you didn't become richer overnight, your net worth didn't explode, you didn't unlock some secret shortcut to wealth, but you did gain something far more powerful, something harder to measure, and almost impossible to take away. You gained control, and once you have that, everything else changes.